tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more. We are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. Number one single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. And hello and welcome, my friends. And welcome to the WolfMan's Call. It's Friday. September 15th. I'm only off about 7 months, but it's a big day. It's the day before the BackYard Brawl. That's right, Kelly McCourt. Let's go right there, Mountaineers. Let's beat Pitt. You know, I'll tell you what, this is extremely cool, extremely awesome to being able to have the privilege once again to play the Pitt Panthers. The dastardly dog, jerks, don't like them, whatever you want to call it. And all this week long, I've brought on my brothers of Mountaineer brothers that have played in this BackYard Brawl and how much they dislike the Pitt Panthers. So much so that even 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and years of recent, they still all feel the same way. That's pretty wild. When you have 4 to 5 decades of players going back and feeling that same, that loves them, that, despise, love to hate, love to beat, love to punch, love to dig around, love to put down in the ground and bury, man, and on the football field. That's what I'm talking about. That's a rivalry. And that's what college football needs today, are these rivalries. So once again, I'm saying to all involved, now in conference realignment is the time to make sure that the Pitt WVU football game and all sports if possible are played every single year. I'm saying it again. I'll always say it. This is tomorrow night, 106 years of playing the Pitt Panthers, and I was involved in a few of them, coaching, watching, brother, and playing. Right? It means a lot to this guy. It means a lot to my Mountaineer brothers, as they showed all week long on the show. Man, welcome. Let's get right to it here. And this is the Plants Law and Kevin Davis. It's his first line of defense. It's the law offices, man. Check it out. Let me put it up there. And this is all brought to you by Par-Mar Stores, by Buzzballs, Cover 2 Data, right? But again, this is the law office of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis, first line of defense in Charleston, anywhere, surrounding area. That's it. Mark Plant's former fullback. He knows what it's like to be in the backyard brawl. He punched a few Panthers around. I mean, that's all good stuff, man. There you go. Timothy Green, what you got here, buddy? Let's see what we got. Let's get pumped up, Mountaineer Nation, and beat Pitt. 100. I'll give you a 100 on that one. And, of course, then we have here with Jackson. What do you say? What's up, West Virginia Nation? What's up with you, man? I'll tell you what's up. It's Backyard Brawl Week. That's what's up. And it means that we need to come out fighting and slugging the Pitt Panthers down to the ground and not letting them get up and not letting them breathe like last year. Last year was a disaster because we allowed that to happen. We hurt ourselves more than the Pitt Panthers hurt us, and that was on us as Mountaineers. So let's get it going, and let's invite the first guest, and that is Jeff Davies. Now, Jeff Davies, I've told you on this cover two data. I've shown you the info. We've had him on a few times. You know, this is his third time in a row. The numbers are really starting to sink in a little bit on this season rather than going back to last year's numbers, and they really are proving well. Had a buddy that did a parlay. All right, I'm not sure what that means for number-wise. I think it was 6 or 7, but he won, and he did it on the cover to data. That's all I know. That's what I'm telling you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring him in. What's up, Jeff Davies? How are you?
What's up, Wolf, man? How are you, man? Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Excited to be here again.
Yeah, man, I'm so fired up to have you on the show and what you're bringing in this whole cover two data. Again, real quickly, how did you start this off and get the idea for this?
Really was trying to just highlight some software that we had built and came across a college football data source and turned it into, this data platform that we, we're taking advanced data and trying to kind of align that with, what Vegas sees from a betting line perspective. So we're trying to not only give you the data, but give it in a really easy to consume package, meaning the data visualizations are nice, it's interactive, et cetera, et cetera. So it's myself and a handful of people, first year for us, but we think the product is unique. So that's the story.
Yep, absolutely. It is unique. And you know what? It's perfect for, you guys just come out with this a few months ago, just getting started your first season. This is the WolfMan's Call's first getting started here. So it goes hand in hand where I can really dive into this because I want people, if we can help them, and this could be a source of their inspiration, no matter what that inspiration is for. That they could be the smartest man in the room. I know I'm not the smartest man in the room right now because you're here, but I know this. When you leave, I act like I'm the smartest man in the room.
There you go. Let me ask you this. I'm looking at a chart that I didn't share with you, the backyard brawl going back to early 1900s, right? And, Pittsburgh dominated it for, 100 years, and West Virginia's been really good for the last since 1990 versus Pitt for the most part. Was there a break, or did this happen every year?
Now there was a break, and this is the 131st year of WVU football, and so 106. You can figure out the 20 years. Now it says, I'll tell you this: it's 1963. All right, 63, because there's just a 10-year break here now before last year, so that was 10 years right off the bat. The Mountaineers are 25, 23, and 2. All right, so since 1963. I don't know what that is. Is that like 50?
Yeah. You look at 1963 before that, they were really bad, but they've been great since then, basically. Yep.
Exactly. So that's what's been going on here, man. But, let me get this up here. Let's get this started because I'm really excited about this. I know my buddy is, because he got some green on this. And again, you always claim that this is not intended advice intended or given for betting, but the WolfMan's Call is willing to make a call, and then you guys decide. It's on you. It's all on your back. So taking what you have here, man, let's get it rocking and rolling. What do you want to do? Roll it?
Yeah, let's roll it. We'll just go quickly through slide 1. I'll just explain what's going on here. If you go to our site, www.cover2.data.com, you'll get this weekly kind of 100-page across all Power 5, the betting line blitz. And what this is showing is, if you're above the line, we like you as a bet. If you're below the line, less likely to like you as a bet. And that is success rates, which is, how net success rates, which are how successful are you, how efficient are you as an offense, how efficient are you as a defense stopping other teams, and we net those out, compare those versus the lines, basically. And so if you go to the next line, we do the same thing.
Yeah, let me point out that West Virginia's up here good, but West Virginia Penn State did not come out with any stats for that. So we're
we only have, there's 4 Power 5 teams. We only have 1 week of stats. That's WVU, PSU, Georgia Tech, and Louisville. So, we'll have to accept that for now.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like that slide there, and what I do is try to say, like, hey, if you look in that lower kind of right, Pittsburgh, Indiana, Virginia Tech, Illinois, Purdue, you'll see the picks that I make. I take the other side of those teams. But what I look to do, if you go to the next slide, is confirm that on another statistic, those same teams don't look great. And that's on offensive predicted points added, right?
Right.
So
We're there.
Offensive explosiveness kind of metric, right? And they're all down in that same kind of corner, right? So I like those, and then we'll go through, and so that's like the early look. And then from an over-under perspective, we do the same thing on the next slide, which is basically like, hey, we like the overs on the teams that are above. We like the unders on the teams that are below. Just that's taking the combined explosiveness of the two teams, right? And we got lucky last week on, our best pick was, it was Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, the over-under. And it was 46. We took it, and it was 47 points, right? But hey, that's how betting goes.
We'll take that. And you did Syracuse last week. I was surprised you took the over on Western Michigan, which I was got to tell you, I was surprised. Or no, not even the over. It was the spread, and you won on that. And that goes to show you, not only is it good when you have these analytics, but when you know a team. The analytics really just come on top and solidify it, does it not?
Yeah, I mean, this is like everything in kind of life. It's a mosaic, right? It's like, hey, it's just another piece of information in this mosaic of information that I pull together to formulate my view at the end of the day. So we don't want to kind of sit here and say that our data will tell you everything that's going to happen, because I'd be sitting on the beach if I could do that, right?
Right.
But we like to think that it's just another input into the variables that you think about when you might bet games or those types of things,
right?
So if you go to the next page, what we do is kind of sort teams, and I forgot to put the on the first couple of pages the games I wanted to highlight here, but what we do is sort by the last column on the right, the net success rate, team versus team compared, to see like who's really that much better than the other team from a net kind of efficiency perspective. So I like I like Syracuse in the Syracuse Purdue game. That's going to sound like a homer pick to me because I'm a Syracuse guy, but I like Syracuse.
You were right last week.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like they lost their best wide receiver. That hurts. But the defense, I think, is much better than people appreciate this year. There's way more depth this year than they've had in the past.
Yep.
I like a Louisville on this page. Louisville over, and Indiana give them 10. That kind of stands out to me. And I like, I like WVU. I like WVU in the pit. WVU BackYard Brawl. We only have 1 week of data, but they look like they can move the ball offensively, passing and running. So in the defense, again, kind of only 1 week of data there, but the defense looks reasonable. So that's my view. And the other one, the ACC, I like Maryland. actually in this Maryland Virginia game, give them 14.
Okay. All right.
And then let's skip past the Big Ten. We'll get into these games on the one pagers. On the Big 12, the next one, Kansas, Nevada. Kansas just looks spectacular offensively. So I like Kansas in that game. Cincinnati, I like Cincinnati in the game. And we talked about WVU. I like WVU in that game. If we flip to the, cover 2 Pac-12 one-pager summary there, I'll hit on just a couple games in the Pac-12 I like. Colorado, to me, if you look at Colorado, our advanced stats, and this is going to be the one, and let me take a step back. A couple games I got wrong last week were the ones where I just went by gut instead of the stats, and I'm going to do that here again. But I don't think Colorado State did themselves any favors giving motivation to Dion, which they seem to have done. Right?
Why even bother? Why do it, man? Why not say, listen, can't wait to go play them and see if we can beat them, and we'll see what happens, right? Why open your mouth and why put something in it that is not necessary? Not necessary for your team to do so. I'm telling you, people are just foolish. Just don't fall for Dion, man. He sucks you in. He's the big spider that sucks you in his web when you go ahead and you fall for it, and everybody keeps falling for it.
I saw that he gave his entire team sunglasses, right? Because the guy complained he didn't take his sunglasses off. And it's just, that's motivation to me. So I'm going to take Colorado given 23 in that game. I just think they try to run the score up, quite frankly.
I agree.
And then, Washington, Michigan State to me stands out. It doesn't look, like a 16.5 point game based on the stats. And I just look at that where, it's at Michigan State giving 16.5. Gosh, how many times is Michigan State given 16.5 at home?
Not many.
So I'm going to take Michigan State in that game. And then if you want to just flip
you're not taking Washington because you got Washington there, so you're taking Michigan State. All right.
Yeah. Well, I put it on the one pagers, the team that I'm taking. I'm just trying to highlight games there.
Gotcha.
And then if we go to SEC, Tennessee, Florida, that looks pretty close statistically.
Yeah.
Tennessee given Florida at Florida. I'm taking Florida in that game. Texas A&M. Again, they're going to be pissed off coming after last week, but, statistically doesn't look like a 37-point game. And then, LSU hasn't looked good after 2 games, quite frankly, statistically. So
I think that might be a great pick right there.
I'm going to take Mississippi State in that game right there.
I agree with you. Go ahead.
So if we go now from the one pagers, then, maybe I can highlight some things that stand out to me. This is BC, Florida State. I like BC here. And this is really just what stands out to me here is BC can run the ball, right? They have decent rush success rate, over 50%. And Florida State defense isn't great against the run. So my gut tells me, based on those statistics, that, hey, they can run the ball enough to keep it within 28 points, basically 27.5 points, right? So
you say 20 because Florida State's weaker against the run. BC in that success rate is more than 50%. So you're going ahead and saying that the 27.5 points seems like a lot to give Boston College or Florida State, excuse me, to go ahead and beat them by. That's pretty cool. And
again, I think Florida State's a great team. Don't get me wrong, right? So this is all in the context of, this is no knock on Florida State or what they're doing this year. This is within the context of the line that says, hey, Boston College might be able to run the ball against these guys. So, they'll keep it within 30 points, basically.
But that means a lot. A lot. All right, we'll go to the next. Very good.
The next one is Louisville, Indiana. And when I look at this, just Louisville dominates really every stat here, right? But if you look at rushing success rate, Louisville is at 65%, which is ridiculous. And Indiana defense is at 40%, which is pretty low, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I just think Louisville's got an ex-Syracuse transfer, Jawar Jordan, who is like a track star, basically. I just think they put points up.
Yeah.
Louisville's not a bad team. I think Indiana's really bad defensively when you look at the stats. So that's my thoughts there. Pitt, West Virginia, and again, I kind of go ACC, Big 10, Big 12. So I don't have the WVU one here. This is the Pitt version of this, but you can see like WVU is better in every stat. Again, that's one game versus 2 games. But to me, it looks like WVU can move the ball. WVU can run the ball. WVU's I haven't watched any games, right? So I haven't watched any WVU games. Statistically, it looks like they're able to move the ball, and it's a defensive question. But, both the teams are really good defensively. And WVU's got the better offense. So given one at home, I'm taking WVU,
Oh, yeah. All right. Keep it rocking and rolling, man. That's excellent.
Syracuse Purdue's the next game. Syracuse looks great statistically. Again, I'm a homer here, just across the board, defense and offense. They look massively underrated. They look like a massive sleeper to me. So, they're giving points at Purdue, which is maybe a surprise to people, but statistically that makes sense.
All right.
I'm still taking the homer pick here and sticking with Cuse, beating these guys by more than 2.5.
Excellent. How about Virginia, Maryland?
And next one there, I'm taking Maryland here. Virginia, what I'm highlighting in the box down there at the bottom is Virginia's defense is giving up 60%, almost 60%. 58% on run success, meaning you either get 50% of yards on first down, 70% of remaining yards on second down, or first down or on third or fourth down, 60% of the times against Virginia. So, I mean, their run defense is horrible. I'm going to take Maryland here because
that was also against JMU.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
exactly.
So that's good. All right, very cool. I do the same. I'm with you.
Rutgers is the next game. Rutgers, Virginia Tech. I like Rutgers here. Just, Virginia Tech offense looks really bad. I mean, highlight a bad rush success. Virginia Tech, is 26% success on rush offense. Just really can't run the ball at all. And Rutgers has got a really good run defense. So, I think they beat them by more than 7 just based on that alone. The next one is Illinois, Penn State. Here, I'm just going to take the over. Okay. Quite frankly, I just think Penn State looks so good. They're going to score 40 points, and Illinois will sneak in 10 somehow, basically, is my thoughts there.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I would do so. And 14? All right, just so you know, even though this is at Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would even take the 14 with Penn State. That's not what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. Watching Penn State play against West Virginia, that's what I would do. But go ahead. You're taking the over, and 49 is it. So very good.
Yeah, and what I'd say with Illinois is just statistically, based on the advanced stats, they went from one of the worst, best defensive teams to one of the worst in one season. So it's amazing how the stats align with what you're seeing on the field.
Yeah.
0-2, right?
Well, really true. And Kansas took it to them, man.
Yeah. The next one. So Syracuse just played Western Michigan. They kicked their butts. I think Western Michigan has a bounce back game. Here to me, it's like, hey, the net PPA is in Iowa's favor. Net success rate is in Western Michigan's favor, even after the butt kicking at Syracuse. So I think this game's a little closer than a 28-point game, quite frankly. It's a MAC team, right? They don't get their asses kicked twice in a row typically. So I like Western Michigan versus Iowa getting 28 points there.
20. All right.
The next one, Michigan State, Washington. This to me is a kind of Michigan State, looks slightly worse than Washington from a statistical perspective, look better defensively. It's at home. Michigan State's getting 16.5 points. And like how often does that happen, right? So I'm kind of making this pride call that Michigan State, hey, both the numbers align with this, but from a pride perspective, I like Michigan State in that one.
All right, I'm going to go. This is where I'm going to switch from you. I'm going to go with Washington on that because they got all this controversy at Michigan State right now. Don't know if the players' heads are in the game right now. But so I'm going to go ahead and
no, and that's fair. I mean, how do you deal with those types of controversies? And
you don't know. Either it solidifies you as one, or it can tear you apart. You're not sure how they're going to react. We'll find out though. So we'll make sure we remember that for next week. What do you got? You got Cincy here, and who do you got? Cincinnati,
Miami of Ohio here.
There you go.
This, again, kind of this one highlights, like I've mentioned in the past, the logos highlight who's best. Cincy's best on every stat here. I just don't think 14.5 is enough. I think the offense is really good at Cincinnati, and they're going to put points up, basically.
I think that D-line in Cincinnati is going to tear up that offensive line of Miami, Ohio. I really do. They did against Pitt. They did against Pitt. All right, so we'll continue on. Good calls thus far, man. I'm going to tell you, I'm on with you on most of them. Go ahead.
Houston, TCU, I'm calling the under here at 62 points. And most of that's just given on Houston. And I know you like, Dana, an ex-SVU, WVU guy, like to follow him around. But I just don't see the offensive efficiency here at Houston to put up, this kind of over-under. So I'm taking the under at this point.
All right. Well, you know what? 7 to TCU? I'm not going with Dana on that. I'm going with you on that. I'm going there, man. There's no doubt about it. How about Iowa State here, huh?
Iowa State, this will be a quick one. Just taking the under here. Both these teams are two of the worst two of the best defensive teams and two of the worst offensive teams in all of these stats across Power 5. So 44.5 is a low under, but this is probably like a 20 to 10 game type of thing.
20 to 10. I hear you, man. All right. No, you got
Kansas, Nevada. I like Kansas given the 28. It's crazy line, but Kansas looks incredible offensively right now. That's all I'll say about that one.
There you go. You got smart from last week.
I did, man. I did. OU, Tulsa. What I'll highlight here, I highlighted in the box there that, Oklahoma's offense is successful 72% of the time, 71% of the time, passing the ball, and Tulsa's defense is got a 60% success rate. So they give up 60%, from a passing perspective. So to me, it's like, OU can pass the ball. Tulsa can't defend the pass, at 27 points. I think OU's trying to go for kind of top 5, right? They're trying to stay in that kind of mix. So I think they come out and kick their butt, quite frankly. So I'm taking OU there.
Well, let me ask you this. What would you take over and under on that 60?
I would probably take the over, quite frankly.
All right. I would too. That's why I said it. Okay, how about this?
I think, OU just puts points up, and that's what it looks like. Interesting one here. And again, there's only 2 weeks of data, right? But Texas, Wyoming, I'm taking Wyoming here. Wyoming looks better statistically. So at, almost a 29-point spread, 28.5 points. I'm taking Wyoming in this just to, the numbers are what they are.
A big letdown from last week, right? I mean,
that's the other thing I see too.
Alabama, yeah, no doubt. You got to consider that, man. It's hard to get up 2 weeks. We already talked about West Virginia. Do you want to explain anything here?
Colorado. We've talked about this one. I'm taking Colorado just for the reasons mentioned.
Okay.
Pac-12, kind of Oregon State. I like Oregon State here. If you see what I highlighted, rush success for Oregon State, 62%, just dominating the run. And then, San Diego State's defense giving up almost 60% success on defense against the run. So I just like them to dominate this game, and they've been good. So
Oregon State is legit this year. They're legit.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Next one, Alabama, South Florida. South Florida looks good on defense, and I know nothing about South Florida, right? So we'll see what happens next week when we chat about this. But just, statistically, it looks like at 32 points, it's a little bit too many points, basically, on that one. Florida, Tennessee, these two teams are basically kind of a wash statistically. So Florida getting 7 at home. I'm taking Florida on this one.
That's a big one there. You're taking a shot on that one. All
Yeah.
right. We saw them against Utah, but they are at home. All right, here we go. We're LSU.
And LSU, I mean, Mississippi State looks better statistically. Again, kind of a wash here, right? LSU looks a little bit worse on a net PPA, a little bit better on a success rate. But, given 10, I'm taking Mississippi State in that game. And then I get into this kind of, Texas A&M, Louisiana Monroe. That's just, A&M looks like they're giving too many points there statistically. So I'm taking Louisiana Monroe, getting this 36.5. And the very last one, I'll take Vandy, giving the 4.5 against UNLV.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, that is really cool, man. I'm going to tell you, you really brought to me a lot of awareness of a lot of what I thought about. But when you start to get the points, it makes it different. You know what I mean? It's not about who's better as a team. When you got to try to figure out those points, it really helps when you look at statistically the rushing to the what their defense is giving up rushing and passing and so on. And we didn't always even talk about the havoc rate yet, which is only just starting to kick in. So again, when you add that in, man, that is just some cool stuff, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do is, hey, you're always going to have your gut feel. You're always going to have, hey, we're fans of the game. We're all fans of the game. We all see what we see on the field, but take what you see on the field and confirm it or disconfirm it or, deny what maybe you're seeing with the data, right? So it just gives you that extra level of confidence for, if you're betting or if you're arguing with your buddy about who's the better team, you got some data behind you.
Yeah, isn't that, you go ahead and you pull that out and say, hey, listen, let me tell you something. I bet you didn't know this. 60% PP, baby. You know what I mean? That's some cool stuff, man, to bring into it. So fantasy people ought to get involved in this too. They ought to be checking it out and thinking about when you get into the individual stuff. As you show, because again, tell them how you sign up. People don't understand. Get that Substack on there, man. That whole thing. And what do? You get all this stuff. It's delivered to me. It's like
www.cover2.data.com. You get delivered. One thing we added this week that I don't even know if you saw, where we have like a top 25 on the main page, with top 25 advanced stats. So you get not only team, but players, who's got the best offense, who's got the best defense, statistically using the advanced stats, who's the best quarterback, who's the best receiver, who's the best across Power 5. So all that stuff's free. Then you get additional team stuff, kind of offensive, defensive, et cetera, game previews, game summaries, across the board. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you, man. I got to keep this show rolling. And it is the Backyard Brawl week, but I appreciate all the effort and the work that you put into this, because this is bringing something to the listeners here, the viewers, the WolfMan's call people, man, but it's no one else is giving them. So I appreciate it, right?
All right. Go WVU in the Backyard Brawl.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm going to remember all those picks. And with all those picks being said, there's one thing I got to do first, and that's go to Abby here and get in this name, image, and likeness for Parmar Stores. Once again, going strong with name, image, and likeness.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar Stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All right. So, hey, you got how did Jeff do on his overall picks from last week? He did really well. I don't remember the number, but the only ones that he was wrong on was the ones he went gut on, that he didn't follow his stats. That was the only ones he went wrong. I was big I went big. I got Kansas. I took his stats and then took my knowledge on it. And I went big. I didn't go with my guts on that for the other two, but I'm telling you, my buddy went and he won the parlay with it, and he just did a straight cover 2 data.com. Hit it, man. You'll find out the knowledge. Even the post-game summaries that come through the email. So you don't just get the bet lines. You don't just get the preview of the game. You also get the post-game. And all those stats and all those numbers just come flying in, and it's so easy. And it goes right to, you get the app, Substack app on there. So it doesn't even clog up your email, and it just goes right in there. And you sign up for what you want. You don't have to I get all Power 5. I get it all because I want to see it all. But you can get your favorite team, and that's it. So, again, cover 2 data. That's what it is. And with that being said, man, that means that now it is time for the Backyard Brawl. And that can only mean one thing for today's breakdown. Before we even get into the stats and the film, we got to talk to the Coke Master. That's right, Kevin Koken. Coke, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Dale, how you doing? How's everybody doing?
I think everybody's good. I think everybody's fired up. It's been a long week for a lot of people waiting in anticipation for this game. Coke, I keep saying this, and I'm just right now I'm being a little redundant. I understand that, but since it's my show, I can be, and that is that now is the time in this conference realignment to get all these schedules worked out for Pitt, WVU, to continually play year in and year out. It's got to be now.
Absolutely. When you think of the timing and kind of the ripe environment, I mean, this is the 106th game.
Yes.
And that dates back into the late 1800s to get a game on the calendar. It seems like we should already have it every single year. We took a little 11-year hiatus. There's no doubt in my mind that this has got to be a marker game, period, no matter what.
When I looked at last year's, again, stats, a Thursday night game, it was the best game viewed by an ESPN audience in 5 years of Thursday night games. And they kick off 5 years. It was bringing back they say West Virginia has a small media market. Well, West Virginia's spread out across the country because many have left, but they stay Mountaineer fans. And with that, they stay Mountaineer Nation. So whenever you look at the ratings of WVU, they do not correlate with the 1.7 million population in the state of West Virginia. I'm telling you, look at those viewings. People sit there and say, oh, it's not a big enough media market. It doesn't matter. There's always interest in West Virginia. Why is West Virginia always in the top 10 when it comes to merchandising and all those? Competes with the big schools. It competes. It definitely is there competing. It's got its loyal fan base, and they maintain loyalty. But in that loyalty, Coke, you got to win.
You're right. But you're right. The fans, right? And that's why we carry. We carry everywhere we go. We carry every game we play, every game that's on television. And you're right. We got to win. And this is a marker game. Earlier today, I was listening to an interview with Coach Brown, and he was talking about redemption and honing in on that word and redemption in 3 prongs. The number one, it's a excuse me, it's a redemption because we get a second night game in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I guess you could almost say last week turned into a night game too, with the delay, right? But second night game, second televised game. Yep. Right. And a redemption of what we did or didn't do maybe in the Penn State game. And then also a redemption for last year. So you put that marker on there. This is a huge game for us across all boards, on top of the fact that it's the Backyard Brawl. But yeah, we got to win. And we got to win decisively. And I believe we can.
Let's go bottom line here. And when we're looking at the overall picture, Penn State, the moment wasn't too big. It was national TV. The fact that we're on national TV twice out of the first 3 weeks for a program that went 5-7 last year, for a coach that's been 22-26 now, that his record is, this says a lot still for the respect of WVU, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. turn it back to the fans. The fans are going to turn this game on, and it is respect. So there's a lot of people like, we talked about before, people looking for clickbait, right? And they're just talking trash on, WV's not going to be this, W's not going to be that. But yet, ironically, we're on TV.
Yeah,
2 out of 3
right?
times. There's got to be something going on there, right?
Well, it doesn't really jive with the fact that everybody's picking you to be 14th in the Big 12.
Right.
I mean, it really doesn't jive. So that's very interesting, and they say that. And apparently, national TV doesn't mind putting up a Mountaineers with apparently small fan base on national TV. And we're talking beginning of the season. But once again, I'd have to go with the fact that I think it's these traditional rivalry games that what's lacking in these conference realignments. And I think the TV's looking for that as well. What say you?
100% agree. Not only will you get, I'll call it the tri-state, but really you can throw in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Maryland, right? To give you 4 states that are really going to hone in on this. But then to your point, the graduates that are everywhere. And not only for WVU, but Pitt's got a great tradition in sports, a great tradition in academics, and everybody there is going to want to watch the game. So I feel really good about the rivalry, the connection that we have, not only locally in the quad state. Is that a thing, Dale? The quad state? I said the tri-state, the quad state. Maybe
I only remember tri-state. I don't remember quad state.
I just made that up. Can we get that? Can we make that a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course we can. It's my show. We can do what we want to do.
You've said that 100 times. It's your show. When you make the call, it's your call.
Yeah, that might be a little redundant too.
That's how you build good habits, by being redundant.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Saint. All right, so when you're looking at this and you're looking at the 106 rivalry, last year, you had Keaton Slovis get up there and in their whole student body, what do you call it? Rally, student body rally. He's dropping F-bombs about WV. You got Narduzzi right there smiling, all like, hey, it's the funniest thing in the world. I felt like him and Dana would be really good coaches against each other. You know what I mean? Like those two. I can't see a Neil Brown or Don Nehlen or, even a Coach Stu going up there and letting that happen. But then, that was okay. I got it. And Slovis, he's at BYU now, so apparently the Mormons don't care either that they drop F-bombs. But regardless, and then you have Pitt pushing the Mountaineers going back into the stadium, that film. And I cut out the audio for this show, but there was really nasty audio on that and just disrespect. Because that game was pretty well fought on both sides. And I would give respect to both sides. But again, that just makes me say that, you know what? When I look at this and I say Pitt sucks, I mean it. Pitt sucks. And I don't feel like I'm going down in class for saying that after all that goes on, because that was just, I'd never seen a WVU team chasing an opposing team at Mountaineer Field. Have you seen them chasing in there? Not chasing them, but pushing them and being funky, disrespectful. We just did our business, beat them up in a physical way, played them hard. Hopefully we won that game. But we surely delivered physical blows in there. But then we would go about our business, right? I mean, we would operate with class. That is not class. That's a direct result of Narduzzi being who Narduzzi is.
Yeah. Now, I got to say, I do have a connection with Coach Narduzzi. And his dad actually coached my oldest brother.
That's okay.
And Pat and I, Coach Narduzzi and I and my brother and his other brother, we were ball boys for Youngstown State University.
No, that's cool too.
So there's, and we haven't, connected in, 100 years, but so I've got a connection, but growing up in Youngstown, that tough, gritty, sort of, I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to get in your face. And that shows on his team. Now that doesn't excuse, that doesn't excuse some behavior as a professional, but I do love his grit and his nastiness. I'm not gonna sell that short, Wolf. And as a fellow lineman, you got to love some grit and nastiness up front.
No, I've said it all week. I respect the heck out of what he does. Yeah. I respect the heck because if there's one thing he knows is trench warfare, and that's an offense that can run the ball against stacked numbers, and that's a defense that can go ahead and attack. And to be quite honest with you, I actually love his defense. They have the most sacks usually, top in the Power 5 in sacks. They have in 21, they set the record at 54 sacks. I mean, last year they had 48. You keep going on and on. But again, they go man coverage on the back end. They're not afraid. I am not attacking him for the way he coaches football, the way he plays football, the way that his schemes are. I'm attacking him for being just a kind of a prick. I'm saying a classless one, and I'm not going to go ahead, and I don't have any connections with him. So, Susie, up yours, right? That's what I'm saying. But at the bottom line is, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like the way you play, though. Your team's play. So that's kind of a backhanded compliment, or I guess whatever you want to call it. But it's the truth. So I do respect them. Respect your enemies, man, and know them, because they will come and bite you. So when I say that to you, Coke, and you look at this and you see where the Mountaineers are, you've seen their first two games. Penn State, they did some good things there. Obviously, last week there's a little bit of a lull, but then they came back to life and did what they're supposed to do. So then you saw Pitt. Pitt knocked Walford out really easily, what they're supposed to do. And then they struggled with Cincinnati. And to be quite honest with you, Coke, I'm looking at this team, and this might have a lot of the same personnel as last year. They're not playing near as well as they did last year.
No, not at all. Can't speak for maybe what happened. I don't know. Was it Mike Tyson who said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the nose? Well, I think on the first couple of drives last week, Cincinnati punched Pitt in the nose, and they didn't recover until the fourth quarter. Didn't show up for three quarters, and they showed a little moxie coming back. Scored a couple here and there, but not enough. So they've got it in them, and that's going to be a key to the game. I counted they played one quarter, the fourth quarter last week, and we played three quarters. Didn't show up really well for the first quarter last week, and played three quarters. The winner of this game is going to be who's going to make the least amount of mistakes for all four quarters, and we've got to be ready to come at them for all four quarters, because they're not going to give up. Because we talked about it already. This is the Brawl, right? Some of them, they've only experienced it for 1 year. Maybe they've heard the stories, but this is the Brawl, and the records, they don't matter. What happened last week, it doesn't matter. What the stats say don't matter. None of those things matter when you come to the Brawl, right? It's who's going to punch who in the face first. And I know where I'm banking my money. I'm going to follow Jeff. From earlier, and I know where I'm banking my money. Yeah,
where are you banking it, man? I'm going to make you say it. Coke. Nobody gets a free ride here.
We'll save that for the end.
Okay, let's save it for the end. All right. So
now, hey, can I one more thing? You brought up like last year, the whole in the stadium sort of thing. Mm-hmm. The saying, Dale, an elephant never forgets. Well, I'm going to say this because we're in this gang here. Linemen never forget.
Yeah.
Linemen never forget, and I actually kind of forgot about that, just because I wasn't living in the moment, and when that happened, I was at the game, so I was in the parking lot already when that happened. But when I watched that, the Twitter and whatever it showed up on all this week, social media, it woke up the beast in the belly just a little bit.
It did, right? I mean, that's exactly what happened to me, Coke. And I looked at it, and I was like, that's just not sitting well with me. But
right.
Look, let's go ahead and take down and look at this Pitt from Cincinnati game. And you can see that's the Panthers, when they look at total yards, they only put up 262. Jurkovich was 10 for 32 in the passing game. 10 for 32 for 174 yards. That's not great, obviously. But here's a guy that, was at Boston College and put up thousands of yards. So, something's misfiring there. But let's go ahead and break it down now, right? So let's take West Virginia's offense, what you see with them. What do they have to do to score points on this Pitt defense that's going to go with 4-man rush, a 5-man, a 6-man, and a 7-man rush at times. And it's going to go man defense, man free, sometimes cover 0 where they're bringing all of it. And sometimes they'll do, some zone in there with zone pressure. So how do you see Neil Brown and his coaching staff working it?
This is a trenches game. And you've heard me talk about multiple times about up front being led with Zach Frazier. And put your trust in the O-line. Even go down, put in 2 tight ends if you have to. But I think we run the ball. I think we run the ball and we run it hard and allow the RPO to open up. Right? They're going to have to start creeping. They're going to start moving some more people up in the box, and their defensive backs can be pretty good. But when you throw in that threat, they're going to move some people into the box. We're going to do a little bit of RPO. And now we're going to be in single or man coverage on the backside. Somebody is going to get open. And by the way, if they're not, just think it into the tight end at 6'7", and nobody's going to be able to stop him.
Will Taylor.
Right. So I think that's what we've got to do. Smash mouth on offense. It's going to be, let's run the ball. Let's bring in the stable and let's hit them, bang them inside, bang them outside, bang them inside, bang them inside.
Yeah, Koken, and I'm looking at this defense here, and when you look at the offense here, Cincinnati ran for 5 yards a rush against them, 42 rushes. I mean, that's that's not as like it was last year for Pitt. That was not, because they so it's like 5.14 is what the actual average comes out. But I'm looking at this defense, and I see senior. This is D line right here, senior. That's 3 seniors on the defensive line, starters, or 4 seniors. For 4 seniors on the starting defensive line. Then I go to the linebacker, and there's 6'3", 225, and the other guy's 6'3", 235. So those 2 linebackers, and one's a junior, one's a senior, right? And then I go to the money linebacker, 6'2", 230. He's a senior, right? Okay. Yeah. And then I go and I look at the secondary, and I see junior, senior, and 1 sophomore. And that is a strong safety, McIntyre, who actually is 6'2", 210, excellent safety. But when you're looking at this defense, and obviously this is the same guys they played against last year for the most part. These are all seniors, and they're not playing as well as they did. So I just want to say they had 2 sacks last week against Cincinnati. I think they had 3 sacks against Wofford. But they're still not throwing that pressure in there like they have been in the past.
Yeah, you're right. They're veterans, right? So what happened in the did they think Wolford was way better and they got a little bit of cocky, arrogant, and they thought they were going to walk all over Cincinnati? Hard to say exactly what's happening there. So you bring in some of these veterans, but I'm going to checkmate you in that last year. Some of the same kids and many of our, at least up front, in the backfield, were a little bit of our same. And our line took it to them last year. It was like the breakout game. Again, we didn't win the football game. Totally get all that. But C.J. Donaldson coming out game.
7 yards a carry, I think.
Yeah.
7, 8, something like that.
And the line was owning it. And they were providing the right seams, the right gaps, and they were pushing people off the ball. So counter that, Narduzzi and company are probably prepping for that. But when you take great linemen, smart, great linemen, and you put the power to them, the defensive front isn't going to matter, right? Because we have that experience. As a matter of fact, we have that experience this year and last year and the year before with some of these guys. That's really going to hone in. And when you get into, you work out some of your kinks in the first couple of games, but when you guys have been playing together for multiple years, it as you know, Dale, that becomes like a synchronized machine. And I think we're going to be able to take it to them up front. Period. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that till the cows come home.
Well, there's no doubt they did it 4 yards per rush against Penn State. That's not easy. That's a defensive unit is supposed to be top of the line in the country. All right. So when you can do that, at Happy Valley, then you should be able to. So there's no excuses then there, is there, Coke?
No excuses. And take a stat line from last week in the Cincinnati game. And this gives you a little bit of that mentality. And I know you'll love, you probably know the example, but last week, and this really stands out to me, 17 plays, 69 yards. And granted, they only got a field goal. Cincinnati only got a field goal. But they owned the ball for 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Mm-hmm. And that just wears down a defensive front. And those are the victories, right? Okay, got 3 points, won the football game, but 17 plays, 69 yards, 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Defense can get refreshed. Defense can get maybe coached up on a couple of things maybe we missed last segment or something that we're seeing. But that's powerful, and that'll wear down their defense. I don't care if they're all 8-year seniors, because some of those are out there somewhere. But our offensive front is going to be able to wear them down.
I absolutely have to agree with you on that. And let me put this to you, Coke. You mentioned the tight end already. And what I noticed the first game, I was like, that Cole Taylor, he's 6'7", he's a good-looking dude, especially when he gets those long arms out there and he's grabbing the ball. And, I said, that's a good-looking guy, right? But then I'm saying, hey, he's sticking his nose in there and the blocking. He's not just a pass route kind of guy. So then I go ahead and I look at Duquesne, and yes, it's Penn State, then it's Duquesne. But he's in there at the end of the third quarter. He's still in there playing 11 personnel as the number one tight end, and he's still throwing his body around, playing. This cat likes to play. And anytime you're 6'7", 250, and you can throw your body around, it gets in the way. I mean, it takes up a lot of room, right? And so I'm looking at this. He doesn't drop the ball. We got the drops right now in the receivers a little bit. Devin Carter didn't play. He had 6 receptions against Penn State. But again, I think this guy should be featured as Cole Taylor, and he's tall. And I noticed that they started moving the pocket a bit with both quarterbacks last week. So again, if they're going to start doing that, not just dropping back, not just letting Pitt go ear hole on them and pinning those ears back and dropping back, but I think that Cole Taylor needs to touch the ball 10 or target him at least 10 times.
Totally agree, and I wouldn't be surprised, Dale, if maybe that was a little bit of the strategy. Work him in a little bit longer last week, get him the ball sometimes, but okay, let's let the game plan open up, the offensive game plan open up as the season goes on. Now, some may say, well, why wouldn't you use him against Penn State? Well, it wasn't that we weren't using him in Penn State. But how do you blend that in over the course of a couple games and do some checking on some blocking? Even if he doesn't know who he's supposed to block at 6'7", 250, you're going to be in somebody's way, right? Well, now, okay, we're going into a big game. We're going to tweak some things offensively. This would be the time to unleash the tight end.
Yes, it would be. And I got to be honest with you, Coke, when you flip the ball over to the other side, they got a guy named Bartholomew who's 6'5" himself and 250 that had 3 receptions, had a touchdown catch, had 60 yards, 70 yards, something like that in last week's game. He's been playing for 2 years. This is his 3rd year. All right, so he's legit. And they like to go with that 13, that 12 personnel. But let's go ahead, and I want to get to Chad here. Chad asked a question, Coke, and I'm going to ask it right to you. When does the 2nd and 3rd level defender start playing the pass and quit playing or quit giving up so many big plays? And I'll tell you what, now listen, I think I'd like to rub my helmet on that one and see if the crystal ball is going to show up. But I will say, and I want to give you the opportunity to answer this, but in all fairness, I think there's a lot of things going on. I think they're young. I think they've been tied a little bit. Their hands have been tied a little bit. I think the coaches have kept the leash on them. But when I think that they let them play, I think that's when they show. What say you, Kevin Koken?
Well, you think of the question, it should have happened in the first week, right? That's when it should have happened.
Would have been nice.
Unfortunately, we don't have that power. This has got to be the week, right? So you think of they're 2 big receivers, both 6'2", 200+ pounds. They can run, they can jump, they're athletic. So there's going to be some heat and some pressure. So I think we got to jam them up. We got to jam them up close, and then we got to let the front 6 really put some pressures on Djokovic. We got to come after him. He got hit 21 times last week, and it showed. Right? He only completed 10 passes, and 50% of them were in the fourth quarter. Now, Djokovic, he's from our area. My kids played ball, played various sports against him. He's an athlete. He is, but I think we've got to put the right pressure up front, just off of our defensive line, to give a little bit of extra help and support for the back end. But then also have a combination of the right blitz packages, and let's get after him quick and fast. Now, they love to run the ball. A Narduzzi team wants to run the ball all the time, and they opened up last week. I think it was either 2 or 3 passes in the first series. Right, so three passes in the first series, which is kind of like, wait, what are we doing? A little out of character.
Yes.
What are they going to do tomorrow? I think they're going to try and run the ball on us, but I think they're going to realize very, very quickly that our front end is a lot more powerful and stronger, and we demonstrated that against Penn State pretty incredibly. It's the back end, but it's going to start with pressure up front.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and that's a great question, Chad. Like you said, we'd love to answer that, be able to answer it. I think it's going to have to do a lot with following the Cincinnati's game plan. Now, I don't know if Cincinnati's defensive line is incredible as they looked, or Pitt's offensive line was really, really struggling. Because I got film here I'm going to show after you get done, Coke. But there are times there that offensive line did not have a good night, especially in the pass protection. And honestly, they didn't have a good night. And there was at least 5 TFLs against them as well.
Yeah, I think you could just say they just didn't have a good night.
Yeah.
Right there.
I was putting it together, and I just said, you know what? 1 + 1 = 2. So that means they didn't have a good night. And I saw that, and I think Djokovic probably feels the same way, going 10 for 32. He's probably like, why the heck did I leave Boston College? All right. But with that being said, we all know what, 1 week of not playing well and being inspired. He is back at his hometown. He left to go to Notre Dame, went to Boston College, but he's from your area, as you said. So he's playing for his hometown right now. It's the backyard brawl. He knows about it. He knows what it is. And to be quite honest with you, you think he's going to come out and play a whole lot better, do you not?
Yeah, he's going to have a chip. He's going to have a chip, and we're probably going to only strengthen that chip because as soon as he walks out, the entire stadium is going to boo, right? So that's probably just going to get him a little bit more fired up. But again, you look at his career in going back to all the way, like 9th grade in high school. He's a competitor. He is tough. He's a great athlete. He's big. He's strong. So yeah, he's got something to prove, and he's going to try and have to win back some of the hometown fans because some of the things he said in that press conference on Monday or Tuesday. No, actually, I guess it was on Saturday night, probably right after the game. Some of the things he said did not sit well with the greater Pittsburgh area, for sure.
Well, you know what? If you don't play well, and then you can complain about them letting you know that you didn't play well, that's not, especially in Pittsburgh, that's not going to sit well. Especially when you're not a guy that has been bleeding that for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Right? You left him, and then he came back. I mean, you know how it goes. We all know how that goes, and hopefully we will be booing him and hopefully cheering on for the Mountaineers. So, Coke, let's wrap it up. Let's put it together. Give me the game plan overall from the 30,000-foot view. How the Mountaineers are going to win the 106 backyard brawl.
So I said it earlier in the game. It's up front on both sides. Mm-hmm. Number one, we've proven that we can run the ball and expand our offense in the last 2 weeks. And some things we did a little bit different. Duquesne, okay, we can say all we want, but how we kind of graduated our offense from the Penn State game to last week, the last 3 quarters, shows progression, right? So there's going to be a little bit more confidence. We're going to have a little bit more options on the things that we can do. So firmly believe that we're going to run the ball hard, but we're also going to pepper in the right amount of passes and again leverage the RPO and our big man from from the offensive side. I'm gonna say he has at least, well, you said 10 targets, so I'm gonna say at least 8 catches.
Okay.
I'm gonna put 8 catches, and that'll be a key component. On the other side, they have demonstrated, their running back, he's big, he's thick, he's strong. He can run the ball hard. But our defensive front is going to own the trenches on the other side of the ball. So we're going to hold them in the rushing game. I think we're still vulnerable in the passing game, though, Dale. We are giving up too much. As much as Chad wants that prediction, and you rubbed your helmet and all that, I think we still got some work to do. We're probably going to give up some balls, but we're going to maintain control up front and maintain control of that game, or at least defensively, right? It's not going to get crazy amount of points. So that's going to be the key. Mistake-free football is also the key in creating the mistakes on the other side of the ball. That's going to help us win and playing all 4 quarters.
Koken, and this is what Chad's saying here, that he thinks we're going to see a lot of 8-man front and force WV to throw the football. I think they're going to try to shut down the run and make Garrett Green beat you. Why not, right? That's what West Virginia tried to do to Drew Allard at Penn State. Shut down the running game and make him, and they did. All right, so that was unfortunate, but it still wasn't a bad plan, because that's what you want to do. You wanted, because we all know what Penn State running backs could do. All right, so go ahead and you did that. But now that with Narduzzi, who's a smart character, he's a smart dude, he's going to say, all right, you got C.J. Donaldson, you got Jalen Anderson, and a couple other young guys out there, Jermaine White. We got to shut that run down and say, all right, Garrett Green, now it's on your shoulders. And we're not going to give you the long ball. Right? I mean, wouldn't that be what you would do?
Oh, absolutely. No ifs, ands, or buts. I would dare you to try and run on me. Hence, that's why those 8 men in the box, the tight end's going to go. We're going to go right over that. We're going to let them creep up. Boom, 6'7", drop a dink in there, and let everybody else try to tackle him.
Wouldn't you love to see a pop pass? Now listen. Last week they put a tight end screen in. That's the first time I've seen them do it in 10 years. Since Anthony Beck, baby. I have no idea. But that's the first time I've seen a tight end screen. Well, maybe since Trayvon. We did maybe done a Trayvon Wesco. But nothing since then. They put it in. I love to see a pop pass just go in. That's what he does anyways. He goes and he runs. He's that dual threat. Why would you not add that in? And why would you not do it for the backyard brawl? All right? Don't do it for Duquesne. Even save it at Penn State. That's okay. But you save it for those dastardly Pitt Panthers. So that's what you save for, right?
I love it. You're absolutely right. The pop, we're going to bring back the pop pass. That's like the mid-range jumper in basketball. Nobody uses it anymore. Let's go.
Right? I mean, it would be a perfect surprise. And then you got Big Cole Taylor, those long strides. He looks like a gazelle, right? Running down there. And I still think that this is what I think, Coke, the bottom line. When I think about it, I really think it's going to come down to who's going to use their tight end the best. And I mean Bartholomew for Pitt or Cole Taylor. And maybe I'm making too much out of this tight end thing, but in college football, the tight end is not covered well for some reason. And the schemes that they employ, there doesn't seem to be a focus. Now, maybe because of all this tight end stuff going on in the NFL, and now colleges are starting to use the tight end now more prevalently, and I think maybe they'll start seeing better coverages, but it's not there right now.
No, you talk about you're putting it's on the tight ends, and Dale, it's your show, so you're always right.
You know what? Usually I bring it home, man, but you just did it. You just did it right there, and you did it well. So much so that you saw the humor in my eyes. All right, and let's finish up then, Koken. So offensively, you see what we got to do. They're going to force us. Defensively, what does the Mountaineers have to do to make Jurkovic have another poor night? And the running backs only get, I think it was 140 yards or something, 109. I can't remember now exactly, but it was something not great. They're very average.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be discipline in coverage, in jamming them up front. Don't let these guys get behind you, and that's been a danger. We're letting these guys get behind us, or in some cases we don't even know where they're at. Right? We're like, where'd that guy come from? Did he come off the sidelines? So we've got to play really, really smart in the D backfield to jam them and don't let anybody get behind you. while that happens, it's the pure brute strength of our D line taking over, and then complementing it with some packages, right? Let's send the inside, the outside. Let's send the safety every once in a while to keep them on their toes. Their offensive line can be rattled. They were rattled last week, and we can continue to rattle them in just some of our pure abilities from the front six. But now let's put in a couple other packages to really go after him. Let's get Jerkovic on his heels.
Yeah.
Right. Keep the receivers all in front of us. Jam them. Let's get up on them. We've got some really good athletes back there. They've got 2 games to really get it going. So that's how I think we got to go.
I think it would be nice if those coaches really took the leash off of them.
Yeah.
And just like when Beanie Bishop, when he got those that interception, he was playing up on man tight. He was 2 yards there, and he was challenging that receiver. And I think they have to do more of that, because what you said it was best is when they play zone, they drift. And they don't acknowledge when a player comes in their zone and an opponent comes in their zone, they don't stay tight enough to make it a play out of it if the ball is thrown to them. I think that's the problem. They drift away and they're not focused on their zone. So I think if they can improve that, which is not all that, you're not asking like, I need you to run faster. I need you to be a faster athlete, right? That would be a lot harder than going ahead and saying, I need you to start focusing when a guy enters your zone. That's something that you can coach up. And so, and then Chad says, don't cover air. So I think that's very good. All right, Coke, finish up, man. This is your prediction, buddy, till you head down to Motown tomorrow, man, and get with all your boys and have some fun. What's the deal?
It's WVU by 17.
17. Woo! All right, man. I was going to take 1. I was going to take 7, but 17?
Yeah, there's just too many things. And I'll start out with the fans. And that place is going to be electric. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna lean into redemption and opportunity, right? All of those things are playing heavily into our favor. And you got a Pitt team that's a little bit shaken. So we're gonna punch them in the nose. They got a plan. I'm sure they have a plan. We're gonna punch them in the nose. The plan's gonna go to all heck in a handbasket.
That's when the tears of anger start coming out. The raw tears of pure anger. Timothy Green, he's saying 31-21. I'm assuming you mean the Mountaineers because he's no Pitt fan. So he's going to go with 10 there. All right, Coke, man, I appreciate your time. And we'll have to bring you back next week to see how that 17 points went down. Last question for you. There's no excuses, is there, in this game? There's no excuses. There's no moral victories. There's no nothing. Either you win or you lose. No, there's no excuse. You win or you lose. I'll tell you, at work, work in the greater Pittsburgh area and in my office, and there's a lot of Pitt people. Yeah, sure.
And here's what I told them, all week, right? Oh, I got a happy 9/13. Hey, have a great 9/13 day. They're still yeah. I'm like, whatever. I said, look, here's all I'm going to say to you guys. And there's 4 or 5 of them at various conversation times during the week. I said, no matter what you say, no matter what I say, no matter what happens at the game, we're not going to change the outcome. Okay, we want to cheer and we want our team to win. I said, but the only one in this audience right now that actually could make an impact was me, and we kicked the crap out of Pitt. So watch it happen again this year.
All right. Hey, I want you to know is when I announced that you were coming on the show again today, Pod Besser goes, hey, I like Coach Koken. I'm always right, but apparently you're the coach. All right. So you know. All right. Sounds good. Koken, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, right? See you down there. Game day. All right, brother.
Definitely.
Here, man.
Thanks for having me on, as always. Appreciate it. Let's go Mountaineers.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Man, that is good stuff. I'll tell you, Cook knows the stuff, man. Don't think that he doesn't get prepared, and don't think that he's not looking up stuff and watching games and analyzing, because he's always astute as a player. Like he knew those defenses, and that's how he led as an offensive center. That's how he led as a captain, and that's why he was such a excellent, great player for the Mountaineers, and that's why he's excellent on this show. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this stat thing here. Now I'm going to just crank this baby up a little bit, and see, we're just going to go through this pretty fast, and let me take it back here to the beginning where we're going to take this, and just let's go over it fast. And I'm going to say, hey, Pitt's scoring 33 points. They're giving up 17 to their opponents. They had Wofford as 45-7. Looking at, they lost to Cincinnati 27-21. You see the flip side, the Mountaineers. Again, 2 games. Mountaineers played a great one. Mountaineers played a little one, right? All right, so it's somewhere in between for all these numbers. But when you look at the first downs, you look at Pitt, 48 first downs. They're only giving up 27. Says something for their defense. When you go ahead and you look at West Virginia, 47-37. Again, what's the competition? Even though Cincinnati's good, I don't think Cincinnati's a Penn State. So you're averaging all these numbers, just like I did with Cover 2 data, right? When you start thinking about it and you look at these statistics, and you also got to put the living hearts of what you know about these teams in. You just can't go by data. You just can't do that and win 100%. Now, you're not going to win 100% all the time, and you can't go by rubbing the old helmet there either. But what you can do is you can make an educated decision, right? I think they call that educated. That's a hypothesis, right? You can make an educated decision about what you think is going to be for the factors, and that's where the analytics come in. But when you look at the rushing offense, all right, West Virginia, obviously 238 yards. The game and passing offense is excuse me. All right, rushing offense 225, passing 238, 463 a game. And you look at Pitt, 150 to 226, 376. Now, that Jurkovich only had 10 for 32, 10 completions out of 32 attempts, and 3 touchdowns. But he only had 174 yards, right? And so, again, that's the issue going on. And when you look here, let's go down to third downs here. Here's a good number for you to look at. West Virginia, 10 and 27, 37%. Okay, that's got a lot better, I guess, against Duquesne. Look at their defense, 8 and 25, 32%. That's not bad. I like to see that. When Gibby was happy when he was in the 29%. That's when he was really, really happy, getting him off the field on third down. And when you look at Pitt, they're 46%, 13 and 28, and then 7 for 28. Again, these are numbers. These numbers, as I go through the weeks, will get tighter, be more specific, actually mean a lot more than your first 2 weeks, obviously. Same thing with Cover 2 data. And let's continue on here. And I wanted to show you this right here. Let's just take a real quick look. All right. So first down, Cincinnati 28-18 to Pitt. Rushing yards 42-216. Pitt 29 of 83. 29 of 83. I don't know what that is, but I know that's less than 3 yards per rush. So that's pretty good. I know they had at least 5 TFLs I haven't filmed for you. Well, I look at the completion, the attempts, the interceptions, 19 and 27 and 1. Jurkovich again, 10 and 32, but no picks. So there was no picks in that. Passing yards, 155 to 179. Nobody was lighting it up. And when you look at total yards, 371 to 262. That's over 100 yards. That is significant. And that means that offensive line did not, as Coke said, that it was a bad day for all. Right? All right. So that's what goes ahead and shows that. Fumbles lost. Pitt. Now here, they had 2 fumbles. They put the ball on the ground 2 times. They lost 1, but they have put it down. That's important to remember. Each team punted 5 times. Each team fairly clean. Cincinnati had 7, Pitt had 5. Third down conversion, right? Pitt was 5 of 14. That is not good. West Virginia had something similar to that against Penn State. That's not good. That's why they lost the game. That's why Pitt lost the game right there. And I'm going to say, I meant to talk about this with Coke, but I meant to say is that first downs are so key because you want to get that third down number up, right? As an offense, you want that number up. Defense, you want it down. But when you're dealing with second and medium, second and short, man, it's just the playbook is all there. When you're third and long, that playbook gets very, very smaller, much smaller than when you're in the second and third. Fourth downs in the game they went. So each team went for once went for twice, and the other team went for 3 times. Pitt went for 3 times. Look at that. Cincinnati, there's 5 sacks. Now, what they didn't, I didn't get the stat, was that they had at least 5 more TFLs. We're talking like 10 TFLs total, because you count the sacks, count towards the total amount of TFLs. All right, so we'll continue on here. The next stat is going to be real quick. So you can see right here, this is the guys that started. So you can see that their starters are going to be week 1 and 2. Looks like it's going to be the same here. Nothing's changing on defense. And you can see that. And we'll get more into the personnel. And then on offense here, again, now watch Mumfield had 2 touchdown receptions last game. And receivers, again, okay, they made some really good catches. Then obviously get a lot of catches because they wouldn't be 10 for 32. But as you can see now, left guard, looks like there's a move there from Collier to Zabovic. Again, what does that tell you? And then Williams. So you guys, I mean, again, as you're seeing this, they're moving their offensive line around, maybe due to injury or maybe because they're not playing so well. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big deal. So that's why you got to look at all these and say, hey, what's going on here? And see, now Carter was the first week starter for the running back, Hammond the second. So, you know, they have a couple of running backs they like to use. Remember, they like to use 11 personnel. That's 1 tight end, 12 is 2, 13 is 3. They got 3 dudes. And there, you go down the line here, look at the offense. Jerkovic, senior. Hammond, running back, is a junior. Bubba Means, senior, right receiver. Mumfield is a junior. You know, Reynolds, what I see here, he's a sophomore, so he's not quite as old as the others. But you look at Bartholomew. When is this guy gonna, like, Bartholomew? When's he gonna, like, get out of there? Right? He should leave this year and go to the NFL. That's what I think. And he's good enough. And then you got left tackle. You got a 6'6", 330-pound senior. Left guard Zabovic, 6'4", 330. Right center, 6'3", 305. You know, then you go ahead and you look at, we got a freshman in there. So B.J. Williams. Maybe there is something going on with that offensive line that's not cranking so well as last year. And then you add a junior at 6'5", 330. Flip that over. I told Coke about the defense. 4 defensive linemen and seniors. Now, what they are is they're 265 defensive men, 290, 285, 250. They don't have any big 310 pounders like our guy, right? Okay, so I mean, they don't have any guys like Sean Martin, who's 295. All right, they have Eddie. Now Eddie's 283, and so we have some guys, but I'm telling you, man. So the size here, that defensive line, wow, man, it's making a difference. I wasn't sure about Penn State because one game, what's going on? Was the Penn State offensive line not jiving? No, there's legit going on there on that defensive line. I like to see it. It needs to keep going. It needs to keep better. Sean Martin, keep it coming, man. All right, so I got offline here. Anyways, Mike linebacker, money linebacker. Those guys are all big. They're linebackers, right? Maybe you need to go ahead and take advantage of that. You heard Coke talk about RPO, run pass option. If they start filling up the box and they start giving room on the receivers, they start blitzing because they're attack defense. What's the hot reads? Move that pocket out. Maybe use Garrett Green. This is really where you use, a type of conflict play where you go ahead and you make the defense decide, am I going to attack the quarterback because he's going to run the ball, or is the quarterback then going to throw the ball? Put that defense in conflict. Get crossing routes going behind the backers and in front of the safeties. Make it so that it's difficult to read, difficult to cover, whether it be man coverage or in zone coverage. Let's hurt the other teams of what West Virginia's been hurting with in the first couple of games in their pass defense. And let's make sure that defense is then being focused and doing better. So we go ahead and we throw that up. And you can see here, this is just looking at the 2 nationally in conference. And you can see here nationally, West Virginia is 42nd at 35.5 points so far in the nation. And, you can see all that. You look at Pitt and their offense, they're 7th. Again, it's only 2 games, But this gives you an idea. These are good. These are all in the notes each and every week, but it gives you an idea nationally and in the conference where the two teams stack up. As you can see that they're scoring offense. Pitt in the ACC at where they're at 33 points is 10th. And that's surprisingly at 33 points, that's 10th in the ACC, even after the first 2 weeks, which usually you're playing your easier opponents. What are you looking at here? And you see red zone offense, red zone defense. You look at Pitt, they're number 1 right there in the red zone offense. And I'm not sure if that's because they're 100%, but they're not 100% touchdowns. I saw a field goal. So I look at that red zone defense. West Virginia's 85.7%, and Pitt, they're 100% there. So again, this gives you an idea who this team is and who West Virginia is. And we're giving you all kinds of stats here. Haven't even gone to the visual proof yet, but let's take a look here. Now you got the defense, all right? We look at these seniors. This is David Green, number 2, 6'1", 285. He's from West Mifflin, PA. Look at that, Pittsburgh. I'm looking down there, man. Okay, so they got some guys, Al Quipa, right? They got some guys that are right from the area. But, there he is, 50 career games. This is his 50th career game, starting 13. Wow, that's a lot of games in there, right? Then you had to go down to Devin Danielson at 6'2", 290. He's played in 54 career games, 15 starts. I mean, these are guys that are matched up, and they played a lot of football. Senior right here with Dayon Hayes. He's played in 29 career games, 3 starts, okay? Not so much as the other two right there. Then you look down there, defensive end and Nate Temple, 6'4", 250. He's had an injury campaign in 2022, but he has 17 career games with 2 starts. All right. That gives you the idea what the offensive line, what these tight ends I got to put up with. And then you go to the linebacker and you see Kamara, 6'2", 230, man, right? Second-year starter, 39 career games, 13 starts. He's a baller. He's definitely a baller. And when you look there, the next one, Solomon DeShields. He's playing 32 career games with 2 starts. I don't know if you've ever looked at these notes like this, but it's all there for you, man. And that's why I'm going over it all. But you look at Marquise Williams, 5'9". Ooh, 5'9", right? Okay. He leads Pitt secondary with 50 career games, 36 starting assignments over 6 seasons. All right. These guys are going to be, they're lifers. I call them lifers. All right. Don't worry. I know you got Beanie. And then we have AJ Woods. It's 5'11", 49 career games with 9 stars, right? So, again, these guys are difference makers on Pitt. I'm surprised that they haven't been playing as well as I thought they would, but that's good for WVU. Go ahead. You look here. Strong safety, McIntyre, 6'1". That's a big, strong safety. How about a 6-foot free safety, right? How about this? Another linebacker here, Brandon George, 6'3", 245, 42 career games. 42, man. And he's 245, right? And then he had another pick captain and Shane Simon here. And, he's transferred from Notre Dame. So he started all 15 games played for the Panthers that he's been there. So, again, there's a guy with talent. Let's move on over to the offense, right? What do you see here with Jerkovich? Oh, here's the sacks here. 2021, 54 sacks, 14 games, right? They led the nation that year. 2019, 3.92. 2022, 3.69. They had 48 overall sacks. So, again, the last 3 years, they've been a sack pressure machine, playing man coverage on the back usually. Sometimes they'll do zone blitz. There's no doubt about it, right? And so you look at Jerkovich here, 6'5", 235. All right, he's coming in. He's, what's his total? He threw for 5,184 yards, 35 TDs, and 17 interceptions. That's no joke. No joke. ACC, very good. He was a big-time recruit. I will say this. He can sometimes escape and elude the defenders, but he's not going to kill you with the 2 legs. Maybe at a crucial down or something, he can bite you. So I'm being fair that way. But he's not going to consistently beat you with his athleticism. All right. Then you look at Rodney Hammond. He's got 11 carries, 46 yards, 2 TDs. He's got 15 receptions so far. Then you look at Flemister, who's going to have a big run here against Cincinnati. I'll show you in the film. And then Daniel Carter as well. So they go ahead Running back by committee, you can see that one they have, 65 yards of TD. You look at another one, 15 carries, 65 yards, 11 carries, 46 yards. It's running back by committee. But I'll tell you, this Daniel Carter, number 4, he's 230 pounds. He's 5'10". He's a load, and he's short, and he's hard to tackle. He's got some big old thighs, right? Hard to grab those thighs. So you got to be careful when you're attacking him. Bub Means, 6'2", senior wide receiver, right? Second year at Pitt. He transferred in from Louisiana Tech. But, in 2023, he's got 2 catches, 39 yards, 27 catches, 41 yards last season. Now, here's the guy, tight end Gavin Bartholomew from Schuylkill Haven. Schuylkill. I don't know. Third-year starter who's played in every game during his Pitt career, 29. Every single game. So far he's got 5 receptions, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Then you see the tight ends there. I told you, they're like 11, they're like 12, they're like 13 personnel, right? And we're going to keep going on down the offensive line here. Then as you look at this and you see Mac 6'6", Goncalves, right? 6'6", 6'5". All right, so you can see that they all got big players just like we do. And the offensive line, 6'3", 305, 6'4", 330. But I'm not sure that they're gelling right now. Again, I'm going to say it again. I think this defense can be disruptive to this whole offensive line. All right, and that's it for that. And now we're going to go to my favorite thing. And first, say this. If you want to see more of the WolfMan's breakdowns, go to the link tree, WolfMan99. All right, I'll give you that. There's Jackson. There you go. Very cool. And what else you got there, buddy, for me? Said each game. Well, okay, very cool. I see that. I put that up. And what else we got? Show it, man. Show it. If you want to see, what do you do? Do it 2 or 3 times? Oh, and then we got this. Timothy Green, Jackson Johnson. Timothy Green wants to know, what is your final score prediction, please? Because he wants to hold you to it. I know what you're doing, Timothy. Yeah, you're acting like all nice guy and stuff, but you want to be able to say, hey, this is what you called, right? And this is my film there of the Pitt Panthers. I call it Panther Piss film, right? Get it? All right. Anyway, I wanted you to think that was funny. And then let's get this up here. So I just went through all the stats and went through the players. This is an old Pitt team. I forgot to go ahead and get that off of there. We go. So this is an old Pitt team. Flemister, 15 carries, 65 yards, 2 receptions, 35 yards. But this is what I'm talking about here. Now watch this. This is a nice job here. He breaks through the Cincinnati front, and you see him break some tackles, all right? The guy can run. It's running back by committee, so no running back's going to be tired. They're not going to try it. They want to run. Signetti, the offensive coordinator, that was a player here under his dad. With Frank Signetti, okay, under his dad. Now he is the offensive coordinator for Pitt. He's a run the ball, set up the play action pass type of guy. He's old school. He always has been. And he's very good at what he does. And watch the offensive line here. Now you got 2 offensive linemen pulling. So again, you're trying to overload one side. You try to set up a balanced offense, and then they go ahead and they put that defense and balance it out. And then you try to bring the numbers back to the other side to go over and unbalance the line in the favor of your offense. And that may have been a block in the back there, but he got away with it. Excellent run. So Pitt here is dangerous. There's no doubt. Look at that. They're pulling. They pulled the receiver. They use that. It's just nothing more than a receiver coming across and kicking out with a guard pulling, man. Nothing more than a counter. Counter ace, if you want to get right into it, right? That's what you can say with that one. So very good. And they like to use the receivers and that type of thing too, as well as the tight ends. Okay, so we'll continue on in our breakdown here. You can see it again. Linemen pulling around, so the linemen are big. I just read off their stats, but they can move, obviously. And also, again, I'm saying is that they can be hurt. Now, here's number 4, Carter, right? 5'10", 230, senior. He's got 11 carries thus far for 65 yards of the rock. This is one of their 12 personnel, as you can see here. Okay, so again, you come on over. They're pulling that. All that is a tight end, H, and guard counter. That's all it is, and you can see him running. Again, he's a low baller, man. 5'10", 230 pounds, big man right there. Very good. And as you can see, you got that Bartholomew is also a good blocker. I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. And with 12 personnel, it's a short yardage situation. And you can see right here, the offensive line getting something going on right there. Again, though, what do they have? I think they had like 74 yards total rushing in this game. A lot to do with the TFLs. Let's watch this right here. Again, now, I threw this in because I told you he's not going to hurt you on a continual basis, but you have to be, what? Aware. You got to be aware. Look at Jerkovic here. Again, he's getting 8 yards. He's not going to kill you on it. It's a read. He goes ahead and he pulls it. If you don't pay attention to him, he's smart enough to know that I'm going to pull it, even though he's not a great runner. But you know what? He does get yardage there, and he's got long, 6'5", right? Long limbs. All right, so here's the pass, right? You see here, and he's going to throw the ball up, but boy, does he get whacked. Again, look at that offensive line, and you're going to see here, Mumpfield, he has 7 receptions, 87 yards, 2 TDs, both in this game against the Bearcats. And they made out some great catches. I mean, Holly went for 10 for 32 with some of these catches were extremely hard. I mean, he could have gone like 6 for 32. I don't know. Regardless, but Mumpfield there, good receiver. Yeah, he likes to play. He likes to jag around. That's all right. Pass rush. Again, you see the circle here. We have 4 or 5 guys rushing right now. Look at them get by. This is offensive line. I talked about this. Not gelling. We're going to see a little bit more here. But again, now Jerkovic, he's throwing off his back foot. They got away with it this time. But when you see a duck like that, you're not always going to get away with it. Look at this. There's 2 Bearcats ready to lay into him. And that's not even over 4 seconds right there. So check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. 3-man rush. Now, I do tell you, I hate a 3-man rush, right? Unless what? Unless it works. All right. Now you're coming out here, 3-man rush. Look at this. All right. These tackles, I'm not saying they're the quickest number. We have to work that edge. You have to work the edge on the Panthers here. I think if you attack them on their shoulders, their outside shoulders, both tackles, I think they're vulnerable. I don't think that they have the best feet. Then you see their number 3 receiver there. He's a sophomore. That's the one receiver that's a sophomore. He's a Florida transfer. All right, he's got skills. Reynolds right there is his name. And then, again, we come with this. Now, look at this. Attack outside, come back under, whatever you have to do. Jerkovic, he's moving. Now, you can see this. What does he do? He goes ahead, and he makes them. Again, who do you got right there? The thing, you got the receiver out there. Watch the tackle. Okay, coming out, inside, outside. He's not moving his feet. You see that big guy? He had help from his guard. The defender went back on the outside. What happened? He ran to the outside and wrote that tackle was going to move his feet. If I'm the coaches right now, Jordan Leslie and AJ, man, Andrew Jackson, who I love to death, right? AJ, man, get those guys. Sean Martin, work those edges because that tackle can't move his feet. That's what I'm talking about. And you got to move that. You got to work the edges. You got to see what the disadvantages are in your opponents, and you have to exploit those. That's why you watch film as a coach, a coaching staff, as a player, as a team, right? Because you're looking at the weaknesses, trying to find the weaknesses and the strengths of what they do, but the weaknesses so you can exploit them to your advantage, all right? Now you got a 4-man or 3-man off a rush right here. Again, going ahead and putting pressure out there. Obviously, the receivers, they're not getting open because there should have been a thrown ball at 3 seconds. 3 seconds, boom, throw it, right? But they're not getting open. Cincinnati is covering them. And he goes ahead. But now, there we go, Reynolds right there. So when the quarterbacks come, that's 2 catches by Reynolds. When you see Jerkovic scrambled. So our DBs, Aubrey Burks, okay, anyone, Beanie, right? Anyone who's out there as a defensive back, when Jerkovic is scrambling, you better know the number 3, Reynolds, he knows how to run to the quarterbacks to help and support so that he can scramble and then throw the ball downfield. Again, I'm telling you right here, I'm showing it to you on film. All right. So when he say, hey, Wolf, you think you know? No, I'm showing you that this guy is 2 times in a row where he's come back and helped his quarterback. So DBs, you better understand who you're playing against. You better know you're down and distance. You better know all those things because you got with your mental acuity right there, right? And how good you are interpreting, how good you know what's your football smarts. That's being part of football smarts. Again, why rush 3 men unless it works? Unless it works. Check it out, man. It's pressure. Right through. I've never seen Pitt linemen be backed up so much and knocked over and pushed and fall on the ground. What did Neil Brown always say is if you're falling on the ground, then you're not being a good enough athlete. At that moment, I'm not saying that you're not a good enough athlete, but at that moment, you're falling on the ground. You're not being a good enough athlete for Power 5 because you need to stay on your feet. That's what they're talking about. I'm seeing a lot of Pitt Panthers being pushed back, being moved around, and not so much in that play, but offensive line, but on their feet, or leaving their feet and being knocked down. You will see it when I'm going ahead and pointing this out. But it's good. I look at this, I see it's actually that is 6-man protection with a running back. He does release. I call it step with the running backs in there. He does release eventually after he feels like there's no longer a 4, 5, 6-man rush. And then we look here for, I keep saying pass. Look at this pass blocking. Look at the edge right around the center. Right around. And there's Muntfield making another catch. Another catch, man. It's a TD. He had 2 of them right there. And he makes these awkward catches. Right? But watch the pass block. He's gone. This D-line. I don't know if this D-line's so great. I don't know if this offensive line had a really bad night. I think with their TFLs in the running game, I think you would just say that they are not gelling right now. But that's a big play by Muntfield. I believe that was a 4th and 10, that 4th and goal. Yep, that was a 4th and goal, and coming up big on that. That was a huge, huge play for the Pitt Panthers, keeping them in the game. Now you have a 3rd and goal right here. Look at the personnel. You see it's 11 personnel, 2 receivers at the bottom. This is red zone, 6-yard line, 1 receiver up top. You have a gun strong because you got trips. Basically, you got the tight end on the line of scrimmage, then your 2 receivers to the hash and 1 beyond. All right, so gun strong. It's going to be pass here. Look what he does. He puts the ball. That's 50-50, 50-50. We need defensive backs that you heard Neil Brown say, backs that look at the quarterback. That's what they're lacking, especially against Penn State, but looking at the quarterback, not using their hands, not being active, not being aggressive, not being physical. All right, this is a perfect opportunity. That was a 50-50 ball. It was a duck. A duck. A DB needs to go up and be aggressive. They need to high point that ball. If I was Pitt, I'd tell my receiver to high point that. Well, DB, West Virginia, I'm telling you to high point that ball and either knock it down or grab it away from him. Rather have you just knock it down because that's a lot harder than trying to grab it away from him. But again, who is that? That's Muntfield, right? Scoring again, another touchdown, another difficult one, another air ball up there, right? Same thing here. Keep going. Just showing you the thing here, but it's an air ball. It's reactable. React to the ball, not to the player, Mr. DB, and you'll do better when you do that. Did I do this the 3rd time? I'm trying to focus here on the offensive line. Oh, I know what I wanted to show right here, number 4. You can see here that the running backs are not afraid to stick their nose into the linebacker, okay? The rushing guys, whoever the rushers may be, they're not afraid. That's why I put that in there. I wanted to showcase that. So, again, he scores. Yeah, I know that. But the running backs, even though they're by committee, they are not afraid to block in the backfield, which obviously is good. Again, DB, he's playing the player. He's not playing the ball. Play the ball. You'll do much better, right? All right, we're moving on. I knew we were – who put that in there? Who put it in? That's a pretty ball, but it's still a duck, right? There we go. Coming through. Look at this. Right here, you got the rush coming up. Oh, no. What did I tell you? The tight end. It's all about the tight end, right? You look in here, Bartholomew Gavin, 3 years. This is his 3rd year. He's only a junior. He's got great abilities. He's He's almost exactly just like Cole Taylor. When you sit there, I want to see this with Cole Taylor. I want to see 10 touches by Cole Taylor. I see at least 10 targets, 10 touches would be great because he's not dropping the ball at this point. And I hope that he doesn't need to start right now. So again, as you see that the tight end, West Virginia, you have to watch. This is nothing more than just a vertical down the seam, throw for the tight end. You're going to see here touchdown, red zone, tight end, 6'5". And this is what you got to see with Cole Taylor as well. I want to see this here. You see this touchdown by Gavin. This is exactly what a good tight end should do. All right, go ahead, man. Get that tight end. Watch him. He's a stand up right on the end of the line. He's over the linebacker. Look at this. It's a mismatch. The linebacker is not 6'5". The safety's right there is not 6'5". It doesn't have to be a perfectly thrown ball. It was a little back shoulder there or behind, but he's big enough, a big enough target. And that's what I'm talking about with Cole Taylor. That's why I want to see 10 touches. I like to see West Virginia not only get in the ball 3 or 4, highlight him, especially when the wide receivers are dropping the ball. Highlight the dude that's performing. Give him some kudos. Give him a slap on the butt and say, good job, kid. And we're going to keep giving you the ball until they stop it and make them stop. Cole Taylor, make him stop it. I would throw to that young man. I would go ahead. I would put in the pop pass, man. I might even run doggone option play. And next one, do an option play, run down. And then there's a pop pass to the tight end who's blocking downfield. Or he's acting like he's doing. He's the stock blocking, and then, oh, I'm open. You know what I mean? You go, you run up there, you bend down, you're going to block, and oh, here I am, I'm open. That's what I want to see. I want to see some creativity. Use that big 6'7" on him. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to make it work for your advantage. All right, let's move to the defense here. I know we got some oh, wait a minute. We got to do some TFLs. Yeah, that's right. My fault. Some sacks and TFLs. And we'll keep it moving here as fast as we can. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, listen to me. Here I go. All right, drops the ball. Jimbo, look at this flying in. Okay, there are problems. I'm not talking about dropping the ball. Yeah, that's a problem. But watch the holes. They're not being filled. You see the left guard falls short. Who's the left guard? Oh, is that the freshman? I'm not sure. So, again, there's holes in this offensive line. They gave up 5 sacks. They gave up at least 5 TFLs. You can see this defensive interior taking it to Pitt right there and smacking them. I'm just going to let this run so we can get to Pitt's defense a little bit. And you can see that was like a 3rd and 5 or 2nd and 5. I can't remember which it was now, but you see 1st and 10 here now, right? Coming through. Again, look at the penetration. Look what the Cincinnati team is doing. Okay, they're coming through this offensive line and tight ends as well. You see Bartholomew's all in there and slipping on through there. The guard's missing, number 6, the defender right there. All right, it's not clean. It is not clean. And you can see the scrambling. Now, I put this in because, again, you saw him pull it on the read zone. He will pull the ball, and he just got a first down like you saw there. He can scramble. You saw that Mumfield, the receiver, can come back and help him when he's scrambling. So the DBs have to be aware of that. And he can't hurt you. So you can't go and say, oh, he can't run. Because you're seeing here, he's keeping the drive going. Don't say it looks beautiful. Don't say it looks pretty. Don't even say anything except the fact that it's effective. All right? And he takes big, long strides because he's 6'5". And so, again, you got to be aware of it. And then when we look right through here, oh, yeah, he's feeling it now, feeling the pressure, trying to come back. He's going to get rocked. Okay, let's watch these tackles. Let's watch the interior. All right, the footwork is not great. You see that? The pass off is there. It's not. The tackle was not. He was turned. When you see a tackle's butt is pointed to you in the camera, all right, then you know that he's not moving his feet the right way on that inside rush. Here again, you see it. Thinking up the pressure. All right, this is more of a cover sector, but they keep going. They're only rushing 4 now, and they put pressure on at 3. Right, so they're bringing 4. You can see it here. They're doing a twist. All right, you have actually they only rush 3 because the 4th one is staying, and he's just kind of watching there, and he gets involved. But this defense here, getting after if West Virginia's defensive line can go ahead and put this. Here comes 6, right? 6 right here, putting the pressure. Oh, got troubles. They got troubles. And the secondary, you have to know who their hot read is. You have to know how to attack. You have to have faith. You have to know who's coming in your zone. And the coaches better have faith in you as well and trust in you. And then you look here. Okay, look at what I'm talking about. Offensive linemen on their back, right? Again, this is a quarterback. This is a big dog, and you don't get the number 2, I don't think, and be a defensive lineman if you're not pretty good. But again, look at this. He just tears them down. I see flaws in this offensive line, in the passing game, in the running game as well. All right, so that makes a big difference. Here, last one, I guess, bring 7. You can see it here. Look at right there. They got no chance. Got no chance. And I think your commission's had enough for the day. So we'll go ahead here and move this on up. And let's see this defense here. Okay. So let's see, rushed 216, 42 times, 216 yards. Okay, you see Pitt, they're going to have a 4-man defense. They're going to, if it's 11 personnel, they're going to have 2 solid big linebackers in. They're going to have their nickel back or what they call the money linebacker in there. And you're going to see a lot of man coverage in the secondary. You're going to see them trying to put pressure on. You'll see them go zone blitzes as well on defense. But this is just a quick look here. I'm going to run through this fast because we are coming up to time, and time is running out. What a pregame. Is this a pregame? Is this a breakdown? Do you know everything you need to know about the Pitt Panthers just about? I've told you their schemes. I told you the runs. I've given you their stats. I've showed you everything that you need to know. This is what coaches know. This is what players know, right? This is the breakdown and I bring in a guy like Kevin Koken, or I bring in then cover 2 data, who's going to go ahead and tell you what numbers are good, what they mean, and what the statistics are proving out. Look at the defense here. All right, now listen, I'm going to tell you this. I don't see great tackling. This is a defense that is, 10 seniors, 1 junior, and 1 sophomore? Is that what it is? 10 seniors? Oh, I'm sorry. 9 seniors, 2 juniors, and 1 sophomore. All right? This defense is not killing it. Offensive line, Cole Taylor, Traylon Davis, other tight end, right? Receivers, get in there and block. Get your job done. So guys like C.J. Donaldson. How about I talked to you about Jalen Anderson? I think he's having a stellar year right now. Stellar. I think he's really a talented guy. And let's get our wide receivers catching the ball. Brayon, right? Cortez, and then Jeremiah Aaron. And we already know that Clement can catch the ball. But let's see if that young guy, I mean, he's a freshman. What's he going to do when he goes up against a dude that's a senior here, a senior cornerback in MJ Devonshire or AJ Woods, right? Again, let's see what these young guys do. You know that the Mountaineers have played 15 true freshmen in the first 2 games? You want to talk about a young team? All right, here we go. So now you got a 4-man, right? 1st and 10. And looking at this, they're coming. They attack now. They're not afraid to attack. But, boy, they got some holes in there. Missing the tackle there, all right? That means that's a problem. Again, now look at this. See, this is what happens when you get a lot of man. All right, when you get man coverage and locks you up, when you're in zone, it's easier to stop the run when you get to the outside. Watch the interior of this play. We get back here. But look, this is what happens, man, when you can break it to the outside and they're sticking so many guys. Look what they got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys. They got 7 guys in the box right there. And the 7th guy, number 23 up there, is playing deeper at 5 yards off the ball. But the other 6 are in the box tied up. So what do? They get to the outside. Now look at this lining up here. Cincinnati's got some offensive linemen out there, and I believe a tight end or receiver out there blocking, and their numbers are limited because they put 6 in the heart of the offense. So again, getting outside of that goes away from what? Their pressure package up the middle. That's what I'm talking about. That's why that's so successful. And look at big man running down there. You got to love an offensive line with 75. Way to keep trucking, man. Keep trucking. It reminds me of Mike Lockhart on defense when he's trucking down there and after those running backs. Again, I know you're like, well, if you're just fired up about Lockhart. Yeah, even after I was so unimpressed last year with him, well, he just flipped that around. Keep it going, though, big man. You got to do it each and every time. Each and every time. No let-ups. Again, we see that. But watch it. All that pressure up the middle, I think that's huge. West Virginia, you got to be able to hit the outside, starting from the inside, going to the outside, and getting outside with your speed. You can do it. Look at this now, right? It's more actually spread out. So now the inside is not clogged right now, right? So again, when you're looking, what is that? Was that a truck? Look at this. Now, look, there's nobody in there, right? And you're out here, and it's, 3rd and 5, and they got nobody in the middle. So you saw that one play, they stacked everybody up in the middle, and they went outside. All right? And then you see this 3rd and 5, they got nobody in the middle. Everybody's to the outside perimeter. All right? Somebody's being smart. Somebody's attacking. Maybe that's a run pass option. Maybe that's RPO. I'm not sure, but somebody's dictating it. If Pitt's going to line up and they're going to go in the middle and crumb you in, you better get to the outside. Throw the ball, whatever. All right? If they're spread out, you got to, it's called RPO. Garrett Green, this is your opportunity, man, to be smart. You've been in the game a while now. This year, you have to read these defenses, and you have to take advantages of their disadvantages. Okay? When they put themselves in strong positions over here, something's got to be weak. It's the law of balance, right? Overload here, you're weak here. Flip it around, same thing. If you go and spread out and you go balance, that's different, but you can't load up on everything then when you go balance. So that's the key to it. You got to actively be moving around. You can't just say, all right, go with it. Why are we going with it? Why are we attacking this area? Why are we going there? That's where you got to be smart. This is a big game. This is the backyard brawl. This is a big game. That's why you do it. And I'm showing you perfectly. And then you got any performance like that of running a defender over. That's what you need in the backyard brawl. You need effort. I don't even care where you run. If you're going to run over people, hey, that's going to take care of the job too. Wouldn't want to get right down and break it. But again, you can see it right here. Attack the defense where they're weakest. 3rd and 5, they spread on out, and what happens? They leave that middle open. Before, they were closed in, they were attacking the middle, they went outside. Can't be any more explicit, can't show it any better. All right, we'll keep rolling. We're almost done, folks, almost done. But again, I love these breakdowns because this is how you get educated. You want to be educated? Then do this. 1st and 10 right here. Oh, I screwed it up right there. What did I do there? 1st and 10. Here we go. All right, what's this way? Okay, now they're throwing the ball. You can see his quarterback's trying to run. I put this in for what reason? Garrett Green is going to try to do, or Neil Brown, whoever's going to call it, they're going to try to do a quarterback draw. Well, all right, so Pitt sees it. Doesn't mean it can't work against them, but boy, it doesn't work right here. And I think it's important to show it, to know that, they do know how to stop that. Here is red zone now. This is 1st and goal, and this really stuck out to me here. And let me just get it right there. Where is this first? Here we go. So let's let it run here. 1st and goal. Right there. Yeah, there you go. So Cincinnati's coming with a split zone right here out of the pistol look because the back is behind the quarterback. And this guy is going to go in pretty much untouched. Where is this defensive line? Well, I mean, look at this offensive line. This is like we're picking you up and we're carrying you 5 yards downfield and we're dropping you off like you're a little boy. Like a man to a little boy. Pick you right on up and put you right on down, and look at him go through and make it easy pickings for 6. Easy 6. Watch this defensive line. These are all seniors and juniors. 9 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. Come on now. Come on. You need to play better ball than that. Don't tell me this team would have done this last year. All right, this better than this last year. Right there. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. I like West Virginia. Look at the hole. Look at the hole. Look at the Pitt Panthers. Look at the yellow. Not good. Not good. So now you can see man coverage over here. This is man coverage that the Pitt Panthers are in, and he's going to get out. And, tight end, by the way. Okay, Singletary, tight end. Cole Taylor. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get some plays designed. I have a feeling, I have no idea, I'm going to see a pop pass. Because whenever I do that, whenever I go like this, and I just, it happens, right? We'll see. That was some fun. But again, 10 targets for Cole Taylor. 10 targets at tight end. And we'll see again here, throwing the ball. Big play. You know what I want? I want to see receivers on WVU that can make catches like this at big moments, at big times. All right, the receivers that we have the drops. Neil Brown's talked about it. Well, now at the Backyard Brawl, this is money time. This is what you get paid for. You want to get some NIL money. You want to do good. This is where you perform. It's not your Duquesnes, all right? And that's no insult to Clement, all right? I'm so happy for that young man, all right? But this is the money game. This is the Backyard Brawl. If you want to be remembered as a great Mountaineer, look at Mark Bolger, right? All those great victories, all those great games. Jeff Hostetler, 83. You can go down the line in the list, you know, of times when the great Mountaineers made great plays and remembered because it was against, a lot of times, the Pitt Panthers, right? Okay, this is how you get there, man, how you get memorized and remembered and memorialized and all that good stuff. Whatever you are ized, all right? But make plays like this. This is what it's going to take to have plays like this to go ahead and beat the Pitt Panthers. And I'll be honest with you, I've been breaking this film down. I'm watching it. This team is not as good as last year. I look at it. I see that West Virginia, I think you got better talent. Just like talking to Kevin Koken. There's no excuses anymore. Penn State, you got to pass. You got to pass. But again, if you lose by whatever, it's a loss, man. And that's on you because you're better and you can win. You're at home. You're in front of your crowd. You're better and you have better personnel. And you just got to go out and you got to perform better. And we're just throwing this in there. That's some man coverage going on. And you can see that they are downhill. I put this in because you see the misdirection on the quarterback. That's why I put it in. I wanted you to see this in the rolling out of the pocket. You know, if you go ahead and this defense likes to attack, and they like their own TFLs and they like their own sacks, right? They really do. And they want to cause disruption. And when you move that pocket, just like you see right here, Cincinnati, move the pocket for this touchdown. Again, that's a great catch, right? But watch here. All right, watch this. This is why I want to get at this. Look at them attack that run. And now you're moving the pocket here, play action pass. All right, this is, I'm telling you, this is nothing more than just a rollout going across the middle. And it's an excellent play, and it helps the quarterback, all right? It helps the quarterback. You know, you can do it naked. It's a bootleg. You can do it out of the gun. You can do it out underneath the center. You can do it on the pistol look. All right, so again, you can go naked on there, or you can do that with bootleg, and go and you can do what? You can target your tight ends that are 6'7". I didn't think I was going to get that in one more time, did you? Oh my goodness! All right, we'll keep watching. Again, move that pocket around. Don't let that defensive line that likes to tackle, that likes to put pressure on you. Don't let them get in there. Help your quarterback out, and you can do a lot of good things with this. And you can see right there that you get some guys that are open. Now watch this. This is something I want to show you. They're showing cover 4 right here. Look at the DBs. Look how far up they are on the receivers. Watch how it's an inverted 3 zone, but this is a blitz now. And watch they're bringing 5 or 6 here. They're bringing 6, right? But watch where now those 2 DBs are out here. right? But this is zone blitz, and they get a pick on this now because this is important, right? So you're bringing 6 defenders. You're thinking it's man defense. Nah, it's zone. Not so fast, my friends. All right? That's what Pitt's saying right there. That's what our doozy is. That's what that guy Narduzzi. I won't even go there. It's because he likes Coke likes him. All right, so I don't like him. I respect the man. He knows how to coach, and that's what I'm going to say. I just don't like him. He just got that prick attitude. You know, Coke always had a prick attitude too as well. That's how he was so good when he used to kick the crap out of all those defenders. So maybe they share that with each other. Very good. Again, you can see it. It's inverted 3 coverage. Cover 3 is all it is, zone. And you can see them bringing 6. All that is, that's what you call a zone. See that right there? See that? Now watch. Do you see him coming up here? Right there. I should have got an arrow right there, right? These 2 guys here, they're coming out and they're hanging here in the intermediate, whether it be in the middle or going to watch the flats, right? But then you got the 3 deep here going back as he was up there. So inverted 3, but they're bringing 6, man. So you think it's man pressure. That's the difference. That's where Garrett Green's got to be smart, or Nico, all right? Whoever is in there. That's where you got to be smart. And he throws it wild because he's bringing 6. And then they're just back there in zone coverage, watching the quarterback's eyes, seeing where that ball goes, man. And there you have it. All right. Excellent. We're over the 2 hours. My goodness gracious. It must be the backyard brawl to go 2 hours for a game day breakdown. You're not going to get anything like this anywhere else. And get this knowledge, man. You're just not going to get the knowledge of being here, watching this. What's an inverted cover 3 zone blitz? I just showed you, man. And that's what could hurt on a 3rd and long. That's why I keep saying is this, especially with this offense. This offense is run by Garrett Green, who's really, this is his 5th start. 5, that's it, 5th start, right? So you're going to have to move that pocket when he's passing, but he's also a runner. Maybe throw in a little bit of option football. Hey, you know what a speed option is? It's just, you just running the line from the gun, right? And you got the pistol. Say you got a pistol behind you, or you got in the gun and you got the running back next to you. You just run down the line. You attack the perimeter. Defender comes to you. Boom, you just pitch it. You don't even have to get hit as a quarterback. But again, now they have to worry about option, which is assignment football. Okay, it's not gap football. It's assignment football, especially on the perimeter. All right, so you got to go ahead and you got to do the option and incorporate that into it. And then you can sit there and you can mix it up with your inside zones, with your guard H counters, with your tackles pulling your counters there. There are things you can mix up, and that's what makes it when you're cooking with incredible chicken wing grease. That's what's incredible. And that's how you win games and especially score touchdowns and not just field goals and move that ball, because you keep them guessing because they can't ever cover you. I'm telling you right now, in college football, Kansas, Lance Leipold, okay, that offense is so misdirectional. Option football. Again, they're doing misdirection and then option assignment football with it. Last year, it hurt the Mountaineers to death. They never recovered, never, ever recovered. And it took about 6 to 7 games before the Big 12 started to catch on a little bit. You saw it last week if you watched Kansas, Illinois. They had no clue. They had no clue whatsoever about how to stop Jalen Danielson there for the first half to 3 quarters, three full quarters. And only did they just stop it was they kind of, the game slowed down. There were some penalties, some replays. The game really slowed down. But again, that's what you have to do to go ahead and be successful. This is a big, big game. This is a money game. This is how you keep your job as a head coach. This is how you make your fortune as a head coach. These are the money games. These are the games that mean something to the people that pay for those money games, right? And I'm talking about Mountaineer Nation, all right? I don't know if Mountaineer Nation could think about 2 years in a row of losing to the Pitt Panthers in a row. I think that would be extremely hard. let's go ahead here and let me look at some of the stuff here before I get this moving here. Jackson Johnson. Okay, Jackson, you're saying WVU 28, Pitt 24 to Timothy Green. I'm going to go ahead and say that. What do you got here, Pitt? Okay, eat. Yeah, I got you there. Very good. All right. Very much. I remember you saying so, but I forgot getting older. You know that. Okay, so you're getting old and like me, getting in the head. It goes a roll after this. Okay, let's see. You could go on a roll. This could be a game that launches you. Again, our game that it was our measuring stick back in my day was Maryland. They were in the ACC, and however we played Maryland usually it was a good foreteller of how we would play the rest of the season. And when we did good against Maryland, we usually had a really good season. And then we go here. What was this? Jackson Johnson. What's even better about this year's edition of Backyard Brawl is that Sean McDonough will call the game. I got a great feeling, and he and Greg McElroy be really excited tomorrow night. All right. If that's what gets you going, cool. I dig it. And Timothy Green, I can't wait. Let's go. And then I still wish game day went to Morgantown this weekend instead of Boulder. That's all right. A lot of things going on. Win some games and it will be here. Win some games and it will be here. So agreement is a must win for this organization. All right. So I think we all understand that Kelly McCourt. All right, Kelly, you got to get it in here. 40-25 WVU. All right, Kelly, we appreciate that. Oh, I think this is a must-win game situation. I really do. But all right, so let's go ahead and finish it off because we're going to give out a big shouts out here to the network and do us as usual. Love these people. Love the people of the network. Hope you're getting your favorite food, getting your favorite drink, enjoying yourself. Join yourself responsibly. And you're at Route 22 Sports Bar right there in Weirton, West Virginia. What's up? Hey, this is voted best top burger in the area. And you have Archies right there in the heart of the Evil Empire. Yep, up there at Pitt. Archies on East Carson Street. Great wings, man. Great wings. Calacino's down at Beckley Pizzeria Sports Bar. Love it. Cantrell's, River City Grill and Pub, which is right in Hinton, West Virginia. We're right on the river. Can't wait to go visit. Aaron Gizzy down there, Legend Sports Bar and Grill at Lakeview and Cheat Lake. Danny's down there at the bottom of the state. Big Mountaineer fans, all ready to rock and roll. And then you have Kegler's right here in Morgantown, probably busy as heck. Royalty, baby, royalty. And then you got Jimbo's Place at Elkins, Jimbo's Place in Buckhannon, so nice they did it twice. Then you got the Jar Restaurant and Hot Spot right there, taking over for the Mason Jar Saloon. They're doing great things, keeping up that Steve Reese tradition and rocking and rolling in their own way. And then you have the Mason Jar Barbecue and more in Fairmont. Steve Reese, boy, I tell you, he put out a video today. Man, he's cooking some incredible barbecue up for the game. And then you got the Tap House here right in Motown, right in Evansdale there at Oakland where all the dorms are. And Mel, the Mountaineer Tap House, love you. They take care of Mel. She works really hard, make sure everything's great at the Mountaineer Tap House for everybody. You got the pitch down there, Sports Bar and Grill Dunbar, right next to West Virginia State. And my guys down there coaching, and I love them. And you get to watch all those fields, man, all that sports activity. Really, really cool place. Really surprised when I got down there. And, of course, you got the Brickside Bar and Grill. Eat locally. Rob Davis in Bridgeport. And the Pallet down there in Scott Depot. Haley, what's up? Love you guys down there at the Pallet. We did a pregame down there. It was awesome. Good times and good watching football. It's great watching football. They got all kinds of like chairs there that are, it's like sitting in your living room, man. Sitting in your living room. That's what it's like. And appreciate everything that they did for us. Okay, so with that being said, anyone else got anything here? If you want to see more of the WolfMan's breakdowns, we'll put it up one more time. Jackson Johnson, I appreciate you, man. Each game, go to the Wolfman 99 where you get the best insights from Dale Wolfley, the Wolfman himself. All right, Jackson, I appreciate that, buddy. That's very kind of you. And I will say that, yeah, man, you get this. You get over a 2-hour breakdown. I mean, you can come in, you can leave, come back in, whatever. I don't know why you want to leave because it's all about Pitt football, all about Mountaineer football, everything you want to know, and no one else is doing it the way WolfMan's Call is doing it. Alrighty. Well, how about this? How about hearing from you know who, the best center in the country? And that means he leads the best offensive line, right? Yeah, we'll go, hey, Wyatt Milo, Doug Nestor, Tomas Remack, and of course, then you got Brandon Bates there, and you got all the great, fine young men that are there at the offensive line. You got Sully Weedman in there. You got some young guys in there too that are pretty darn special. All right. So if anyone else, here's to you. Let's go West Virginia. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, here we go. I had a different score earlier. I'm going to give you a different one. Mountaineers win 24-17. Let's go, Mountaineers.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. All Mini, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy. Stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.